Sound test 1, 2. Okay to Zoom. All right. Good morning, dear Dharma friends. Hello to those of you on Zoom. How you all fit in that little camera, I have no idea, but there you are. Looks like the count in the room is exceeding the count on Zoom, which is a nice development. We're moving in that direction. Well, hi, everybody. My name is Robert Beatty. And I'd like to ask, is anybody new? There's 2 people I know that I knew. 1, 2. New to here. I know you're not new today, but raise your hands again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. 5. Welcome. I have something that I predictably say when I speak about the new folks. I hope that today transforms your life completely. And you're here because you're looking for something, and it's an important quest. It's probably the most important thing in your life. And if this isn't it, don't be disappointed, because it's here. I mean, there's in Portland, there are representatives of really all the world's great spiritual traditions, and you'll find a vocabulary that fits you. So I guess my one caveat and concern is watch out for those who spontaneously woke up by themselves and have no tradition behind them. They may be wonderful, and it may be a trap. I've been there. So I'm not sure. Oh, here it is. Good. Thank you, Beck. Let's put it over here. I'll put it down here. All right. I'm moved at this moment to call to the altar of our hearts Ruth Dennison, who was my teacher and great friend for 44 years. She died 6 years ago now. Her picture's there. Her picture's when you walk in the front door, there's a large picture of her. And this place would not exist without her, nor would I be teaching in the way that I am. So, and I guess with that, I invite you to think, to reflect upon your teachers, the people who in your life who have picked you up and put you on their shoulders and said, go this way. We're so fortunate. One doesn't make it to this room unless one has had some pretty fine guidance. So this is a little reading. I can't remember where it came from, and it's anonymous. Could probably find it nowadays. A young woman goes to the laundromat and puts in a load of laundry. When it's done, she puts her clothes in the dryer and sits next to an old lady who's mumbling. She realizes the woman is not mumbling. She's actually praying, offering up a prayer mantra of some kind that she cannot quite discern. And so she sits with her for a while, and then this lady gives her a card that says, you might be wondering why I come here. I lost my son in the Vietnam War. And this is where he used to do his laundry, and so I come here to pray for him. The young woman came at the same time each week and would sit with the old lady way past the time that the laundry was finished. One day, the woman who was doing the silent witnessing found the older woman not to be there. Over the weeks, she realized she was no longer coming back. Then one day, another woman showed up. She was much younger and well-dressed and was looking around for somebody. They struck up a conversation, and it turns out that this was the daughter of the old lady who had been praying for her son. The mother had asked her daughter to give a note to the woman who'd been sitting silently with her. In the beginning, when I came to this place, I came in sorrow. I sat and I remembered my boy and I prayed. People cast glances my way and acted as if I were a bit crazy. I sat in the same place he sat and prayed that he would know I love him and that I was so proud to be his mother. One day you came and sat beside me. As time went by, you continued to come. I said my prayers in your presence. I wondered how you could understand, let alone decipher what I was saying. Somehow you understood. In this life, I tried to be good, to be someone who others can look up to, and to feel that my intentions were always to assist and never to harm anyone. You asked me for nothing, and you gave me something I will carry with me until I leave the earth. You gave me acceptance and respect and treated me with a gentle regard for the person I was. What you may not realize was that coming here became a time I truly looked forward to. I looked forward to meeting you, dear, true friend. I never even knew your name. I'm going to meet my son very soon. I wanted to write this while my mind was clear and my daughter Alice could carry my wishes to you. Your presence and acceptance has meant so much to me. No one has ever been so kind without expecting something in return. You gave me the priceless gift of acceptance and time spent with an old lady that others had decided was sick. I will forever be in your debt, and you will forever be in my heart. That's the way we come to sit together. And that's the presence we bring every time we stop and listen carefully to our own hearts, to our own experience. So let's sit here in love, demonstrating that love by sitting comfortably upright, with an intention of being present. There's something I like to say when I speak to newcomers to practice. I almost always say it, and that is that the Buddha wasn't a Buddhist, and he didn't teach Buddhism. He taught the Dharma. He taught the way of things. And so when we say something like, I take refuge in the Buddha, it's not refuge in some amazing human being who lived and died 2,600 years ago. He's a pretty fine inspiration, but that's, how can we take refuge in someone that's gone? But we can take refuge in being awake in this moment, in this wakefulness right now. And one of the great gifts from the Buddha is that he left an amazing gathering of teachings, an amazing map in a way. If you do this, you'll have the experience I had, he said, or I have. So we take refuge in the Dharma, in the way things actually are. And we do this in the company of our friends, our Sangha. And our Sangha is, of course, much vaster than a Zoom room and this collective in this room. There's a whole lineage, human beings who have carried these teachings down, teacher to student and so on for all these generations. Human beings who became more and more loving and kind and compassionate and wise. And I like to remember the community of all life. This living organism, which is the earth, and of which each one of us is a manifestation. And so something remarkable happens here. Breathing, a living body. How do you know the body is alive right now? Not what's your theory about it, but what is your direct experience right now of a living body? You could focus awareness into what you think of as your hands. Into the pressure point where the body pushes against the cushion or chair. You could notice the life in your face. You could notice the coming and going of the breath as it manifests itself as sensations in the chest and abdomen or at the nostrils. Each breath has a beginning. Just like everything else that began with the Big Bang, the great flash, the mysterious beginning. There's nothing that's not in constant change. And so here, awareness meets matter as the body breathing. Most probably, the mind doesn't stay, awareness doesn't stay instantly upon one breath after another. It tends to wander. And this wandering is the source of all our suffering. It's where the self rules, where the self is formed, sense of I am. And so with mindfulness, with compassion, we awaken in the midst of one wandering mind after another. And that very awakening is the great miracle. And let's not have a war. Let's not battle the mind, the wandering mind. There's enough war. There's enough strife. Instead, we bring love to the process of awakening. We might call to mind for a moment the image of that young woman sitting by the old woman praying. You may not have the pain in your heart of the death of a child, but you've experienced plenty of pain in your life, plenty of loss, confusion, and we bring the stability of the Buddha, the heart of Kuan Yin, the presence of the loving human heart. To be with yourself, to be here now. It's very likely that you will encounter what are known as the 5 hindrances. And they're the hindrances to clear seeing, to just being. You may discover that there's wanting. The mind is wanting something. Perhaps it's wanting the experience it had last week here, or could be anything. Or maybe the mind is not liking what's happening, and so there's wanting not. It's as though the mind strikes against the various phenomena that occur. Another is restlessness and agitation and worry. Thinking, trying to solve the problem. A fourth is sloth and torpor, sleepy dullness, laziness. Very difficult to stay conscious. And finally, there is doubt. Doubt in the Buddha, doubt in the practice. Doubt is what tends to kill a person's meditative momentum. But all 5 of these can be seen for what they are, which is objects of observation. Manifestations of personality. And every single breath invites presence, Be here now. As we sit longer, inevitably the body's discomfort becomes apparent. Unlike everyday life, we make a sort of vow to sit still, to not move away from the slightest discomfort, but instead to notice it for what it is, to notice the disliking, and at first we just give a small glance to such discomforts. But if they persist, then we quite deliberately put aside the breath and take up mindfulness of the pain. And this is the same strategy we use with the pain of a broken heart, the pain of disappointment, the pain of loss. In a way, we learn to stop running away and face directly into life. It's the same thing we've done since we were born, first as children and then adolescents. We've learned to be more present. But this is another huge step. We actually learn to be grown-ups, to be human beings who can face life on its own terms. And it all rests on this capacity to sit still, to be aware of in-breathing and out-breathing. What if you were to discover that there's nothing wrong with you? That you don't have to fix yourself. That you don't have to wait 35 years to wake up. What if you were to be just right here, right now, exactly as you are, and accept everything? This breath is exactly as it is. The wandering mind is exactly as it is. And each breath is a complete teaching concerning the reality of anicca, impermanence. We can notice the very beginning, the breath before there's even any movement. And then there's the rising to fullness and the decline and then the vanishing. And in this practice of silent loving, we're present for whatever arises to the best of our ability right now. We can be a little more specific if you'd like, if we like, with a great mantra, powerful mantra. The words are, I love you, with your name at the end. And we can do that along with the breath, breathing in, I love you, and then your name on the out breath. If this is difficult, this is important information. You know, it can so easily be, well, I love you except for this or that. Or this thing you did 15 years ago. And so we come to the place of quiet before all that, which is I love you with your name at the end. And as we develop and grow into the capacity to love ourselves and have compassion with ourselves, the Buddha described compassion as the sensitive heart's natural trembling when faced with suffering. And as we develop this toward ourselves, then quite naturally it emerges toward others, because we see we're all in the same boat. And so we might, on the in-breath, breathe in, I love you, or maybe, may I be happy, or may I be free from fear and danger. And on the out-breath, maybe think of some person, somebody it's easy to love. Wish them well. And then bringing awareness here into this group, both here in the hall and online. Human beings with longings very similar to your own. What might you wish? What might your blessing be? You might imagine golden or white light flowing from your heart. There's any number of ways to do this. What's important is the intention. The intention to recognize our interbeing. And please now notice your body where it touches the chair or the cushion. Pressure of your buttocks. Notice the life in your hands and fingers. And then bringing awareness into the face and the eyes. And noticing the intention that's required. And then letting the eyes open. Actually, as work takes effort to raise the eyelids. And be aware of seeing. Seeing. And with that kind thought, that blessing thought, I invite you to look around the room. Those of you sitting in the middle facing this way, don't hesitate to stand up or turn. Look around, see who's here. Looking around and recognizing, and of course, you only do this to the degree that it makes sense and is not intrusive for you. And notice when your eyes meet other eyes, there's quite a lot of power in it, isn't there? And if we have in mind, may you be happy, or may your relationships go well, or may you live in a time of peace, it short circuits all the other thinking. Right? Uh-oh, do I look okay? All that stuff, right? Mm. I have a particular consequence of aging. I have a lot of those, actually, several. But one of them is a pain in my role. You see how my see these things here, these I could get them fixed, but I'm probably not going to. But my mouth has always had a slight downward turn to it, but the weight of these has made it more. This side drools. The water level is just a little bit higher. And so you may see this characteristic gesture. And I play the guitar and sing sometimes. In the middle of a song, it really sucks. You know, it's like, uh-oh, it's doing it. The old guy is drooling. So it's helpful to have kind thoughts toward ourselves and each other. And then when you're wishing someone well, you're not worrying, is it drooling? It's like, oh, I hope this person's happy. How are you? I like to ask this question, which is, do you feel more centered or at ease or comfortable or something now than when you walked in the front door? Raise your hand if you will. You folks online can do the same. Take a look around. All we did was sit by that old lady in the laundromat. Right? We didn't solve the problem, though it may have gone away. We just let ourselves be. Quite something. Yeah. Thank you for coming. It isn't much of a party without you. I'd like to introduce a couple of people. Paul Levine. Let's give Paul a round of Buddhist applause. Oh no, the real thing. Yeah. Let me tell you, trying to run this broadcast thing, I'm at the end of my rope, and Paul does it so beautifully. Thank you. And Mish Makazi and Dan Leaf, who are members of our teacher training group. And KB, who's the keeper of the what are they called? The orchids and much more. Allison from the board. Doug and Karen, who continue to give so much, and Doug, who is the official volunteer coordinator. I'm no doubt forgetting lots of people. Beck. Hello, Aaron. Oh, yes. Hi, how'd you get in here? Aaron's also in the teacher training. These people that I just pointed out, the teacher training people, those of you that are here, maybe raise your hand again. If you had a question, those of you teacher trainers, raise your hand, please. Teacher. Okay. They're great people to approach and ask very serious questions of. Put them on the spot. I don't get this teaching on not self. Could you explain it, please? Or what about rebirth? Jim Dalton, you will experience in just a few minutes as he does some movement practice with us. I have a thank you from Candle to all those who participated in her Tara dance and gong meditation yesterday. Oh, lest I forget. Before me, you will see an array of plant babies. You may take any of them you wish. They are here. They are a gift to you from my wife, Jennifer, who, I think it's fair to say this. With the onset of COVID, she went quite mad. Our house, if you drive, if you wanted to find our house, I would say drive around the southwest, around Olson Road and Garden Home, and just drive up and down the streets. And you, in the evening or at night, and you will. There was one of them that looks like the sun is inside it. It's just blasting with light, because we have grow lights everywhere, and they're on timers, and it's quite something. There's 84 plants, and these are the babies. The Christmas cacti are blossoming, which doesn't make any sense, but there they are. So please take them all. Candle is teaching tonight at 6:30, her loving kindness and insight meditation. It's online. Is there anybody here from BQN that would like to speak about the Be Queer Now group for a moment? They've been gathering for about a year. It's quite informal, and it too is at 6:30. Has rotate. Oh no, it has rotating leadership and another wonderful group. And there's lots of other things that happen here, and I invite you to go online and look at them. Dan, would you like to come up and give us a little rousing talk on Dana? Rousing? Can you get him at the camera? Get him.
Am I there?
Hey,
everybody. Good morning. It's so sweet to see a really full room. My name is Dan, and I am part of the teacher training, as Robert talked about. I'm also lucky enough to be on the board
Oh,
of
that's right.
directors, which is pretty cool. And Robert asked me to talk a little bit about Donna. And so that's one of those words, doesn't have an exact real translation, but the best we could maybe do is giving or generosity. And it's funny, I was just thinking, Robert, you asked me to come up and talk about people supporting us and giving us money, and then you disclosed that you're drooling most of the time. So you made the sales pitch a little bit harder. And also, we're all here to
No
look.
prejudice against aged droolers, please.
They need your support too.
You bet.
But seriously, if you're here, it's because you've been called from something very deep and important inside of you. And we really are lucky to have a place here that we can come together around that call. And that's not something that happens everywhere. And we can only make it happen if we have financial support. Last year, due to a variety of factors, we were finished in a financial deficit. We're lucky enough to have reserves from a big donation back in the day from Ruth Dennison. But with all of the building renovations that we've done and just ongoing costs as
Furnaces, 3 furnaces died.
yeah, Duca. Financial Duca. But yeah, we don't have membership. We don't have a cost of admission. We have the concept that goes back through the lineage of Buddhism of the community supporting itself. And we ask you to do that as you're able to. There's a donation box in the back of the room. There's this Dana bowl that Robert was given as a monastic in Burma in the 70s. That was filled with food when he went around and collected things, but we've washed it out now, so you can put money in there. And I think ultimately, as Robert talked about, bringing love to the process of awakening, Donna, yes, we're asking you to help out, give us financial support so this can keep continuing to go. And I should mention too that really the best way to do it is to become a monthly or a sustaining donor in our stewardship circle. And you can do that online really easily. Paul, you could even throw the link in the chat on Zoom to do that. And that's really important. But with all of it, I think that there's the possibility to give love to the process of giving, because ultimately that's what Donna is all about. It's just a vehicle to transform who you are and what you have into what we're doing here and really what the world is doing. And just in the same way that you could notice if there's difficulty around saying I love you to yourself, be open to whether there's emotions or feelings of restriction when you are thinking about giving or what you're giving. And so ultimately, it's not even what you give or if you give, it's the process of opening and everything that it means. So yeah, with that, give. We need it. So yeah, I appreciate you being here.
Thanks, Dan. Beautiful. Oh, come. Please, please say your name too.
First, I want to say thank you. My name is Cole, and I was invited here by someone very special. And being in this room is so filled with magic and being of a practice, and we all know the schematics of Portland. It's 75% white and 25% other. And of that other, it's between 2 and 6% Black people. And the sense of warmth in this is so beyond anything I've experienced in Portland. Being a believer in the Dharma and also knowing the chaos and the pain, what it's like to be othered out. Each one of you, I want to say thank you with the kind eyes and the openness and the continuation. And so I wanted to invite you, if I could touch each one of you. I'm a huge believer in this synergy of touch. And if you are uncomfortable with that, please raise your hands. Uncomfortable. No, I think it's very necessary about boundaries and guidance and how we like to be touched and how we don't like to be touched. And we can also do that, looking at these beautiful plants. If I were to pick one and each one of you would touch it so I could bring it home with me, so I could have a piece of you with me, would that be acceptable? I am going to choose this one. And if you don't mind, and I'm going to come on this side, and I didn't mean, but when you feel a warmth in something, I'm a believer in the touch. And so I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you. I am so grateful. And I think when we talk about gratitude, it's important to look in each other's eyes and to see each other, because in our own ways, we know what it's like to be othered out, no matter what that is. Being a middle-aged Black woman, I know what that's like, but also looking at all of you, there's always a reason why we other each other out. And so to say thank you, and I appreciate you, I'm gonna start crying because I was so scared to do this. And I think it's really important to be vulnerable and to have access to vulnerability, no matter how hard it is sometimes. And each one of you with your conversations. Oh. And every time I come here, it is a form of medicine. And I am so grateful. We know what it's like to be harmed. I have had 3 bodily harm threats from the Proud Boys on both my businesses and my person and my family, out of popularity. So I was scared and didn't leave my house for 8 months, roughly, out of fear. And so coming out of that and having the access to all of you has been a blessing in a way that I don't even know what to say. And so I really would just want to applaud you guys energetically. And thank you for seeing each one of yourselves, because I'm a watcher, and watching you watch each other has also been a gift. There's so much fear in the world, and we lack consciousness in the world. And you're all so beautiful energetically in what you give to each other. And so with so much humility, I just wanted to say thank you. And you're stuck with me.
Oh.
An empath and a healer is a journey. Oh, excuse me.
Okay.
What would you think about doing I see you now rather than movement meditation? Okay, why don't you come do the announcement? Maybe I'll change my mind. Go ahead and do your announcement.
My name is Jim Dalton and I'm a drooler.
Why don't you do the movement? Yeah. And he will now lead you in the movement meditation. Following that, I'll be giving a talk. And then we'll be going through the door over there to meet some lovely people and hang out. And hugging is quite encouraged. And isn't it nice not to be in the middle of COVID anymore? I might play a song after. Yeah.
So now I have to show you how I discovered that I'm a drooler. This is a routine that is called the 12 treasures, but I can never remember all 12. So this is a bunch of treasures. Open and sink and just relax your shoulders. Open your hands to the space around us. The idea of this is to heal the spine. So at first we just stretch the spine a little bit and then kind of ask the spine to be more like a serpent and wind up the spine by reaching forward and bringing your hips towards your hands and then pushing your butt back. You're sending up waves of gentle kindness into your spine. And then you can reverse it and kind of imagine kneading the dough. Again, your hands go forward, your butt goes back. So the spine has to do this thing that it knows how to do, serpentine motion. And it's such a relief because we're in so many situations where we are stuck for hours in one position. Okay, we can make a little dog paddle form that's very slow. Wouldn't work in water, but it works really well in space. But feel how the spine gets a little twist in one direction and then in the other, and all that tightness and all that tension in the spine. And then there's a simple standing for a minute and then reach across and feel how the weight of your arm impinges on that foot below. Lifting, carrying across, and that weight dissipates. And it ends over there. Now there's engagement here. Reach across. The right hand knows what the left hand's doing. The right hand knows what the left foot is doing. Aware of sensations in the bottoms of the feet, in the shoulders. And again, we're massaging the spine because we reach, lift, carry, and set down all day long. But we're in such a hurry, we don't notice how agreeable the spine is. It's providing the anchor for all these necessary actions. Reach, lift, carry, and release. So here's where I discovered that I'm a drooler. Open and touch your palms together and press, just creating a little bit of tension and then release. And then a little different tension. Point down your spine and then relax the hands, run down the front of the body, out to the side, down the outside of the legs. And about 6 months ago, I noticed I'm drooling. I never did that 15 years ago when I started all this. So now I take precautions and swallow before I do that. Come around. It doesn't help to have the teacher drool in front of a class. It just changes the whole energetic flow. All right. Sink. Relax into the knees. Relax into the shoulders. Feel how agreeable the spine is to open the arms. Do a little pressure, engaging with the palms of the hands. Then turning downward, stretching the upper arms and shoulders. And then relaxing. Up down the front, over to the side, and down the outside of the legs, and try not to drool. Coming back up, we make 3 circles around to just gather all the energy in the center of the body, touching the knuckles together, touching the knuckles together in the front, just gathering all this energy we've been circulating with our gestures. And then bringing the hands together in the traditional expression of thanks. I'll never think about it exactly the same after meeting Cole. Thank you. That was an incredible thank you. But thank you from me to you to giving me an opportunity to practice together and to ride on this river of chi that we create in here on Sundays. Thank you very much.
I think it was from The Meaning of Life, Monty Python. He said, and now for something completely different. It's awkward having a Zoom room and a YouTube channel and here. Because what I want, oh, let me see if I can get it to work. Yeah. You didn't test this. Come on now. Everything has its own connector now, right? You have to have a converter for this and a converter for that. All right, let's see. I just had a really evil thought. I could play you my favorite song, which is Florence and the Machine, Free. Huh? We could dance. Well, I was thinking to do I See You practice, which I think would be, oh, I'm torn, but be good, Robert. Let me see if I can find GHIJ, Jennifer. So, okay. Oh, oh dear. Yep, I could do that. Please bear with me. This is in continuation of that wonderful inspiration we just had. All right, there's that. Huh. It's very interesting. There's always a little sense, if I don't follow the script, I'm going to get in trouble, right? Somebody will be angry at me. But childhood conditioning goes on and on, doesn't it? It's great to call it though. Whoop. Echo? I have an idea. We can do this without the music. What the hell? Yeah, okay. Which means we don't need to pull YouTube. A long time ago, 30 years at least, I had done about 10 years, maybe more, of Buddhist retreats where people would arrive on Friday night, sit and talk, and then sit in silence together for 10 days, and then have a meal at the end and then leave. And there was never any interaction, which it's got its place for sure. But I went on, I did some Sufi training. I married a Sufi teacher, and we did a lot of practices where we were actually meeting one another. And on one of my retreats, I tried an experiment, and it was similar to what we're going to do now. And it changed everything. And so before I describe it, I'm going to say what we're about to do is completely, utterly optional. If when someone comes, speaking of permission and boundaries, that if when someone comes to you and offers to help you up, if you'd like to stay seated, it's absolutely fine and you're not missing out. Okay? If you go about participating in the ritual and at some point you realize, I've done it, I've had enough, then you can stop. So it goes like this. It's funny to do it without music, but it'll be interesting too. I'm going to get up and I will walk around the room and I will help 2 or 3, maybe 4 people up. Those 2 or 3 or 4 people, please, you help 2 other people up. Approach them, and if they reach out their hands, help them up. If they put their hand over their heart, let them be. Okay? And then when we're all up, the practice is, it's a mindfulness of meeting practice. It's a mindfulness of seeing practice. And you may remember the Na'vi, the blue people of Avatar. And they greet one another and they say, I see you. They're modeled on the Bushmen of the Kalahari, who greet each other by saying, I see you coming from afar, and are you hungry? I see you. But we'll just say, I see you. And if you think of it as a mindfulness practice, it's like right now, I don't see anything. But then I let my eyes open, and then I see you. It's quite particular. I see you. I see you. And in order to do this, we practice with the left hand up and the right hand down, which means when we meet each other, they fit together very nicely. So we'll mill around the room, and then we'll come face to face with someone. I like to do it with my eyes downcast, and then meet, and then look up. And then we say to each other in turn, doesn't matter who goes first, and we stay mindful. I see you. This is in a way, this is a very advanced mindfulness practice, because there's all that social anxiety stuff, right? What if they see me drooling? So that's why there's such permission and it's also possible to just meet and say nothing, or meet and keep your eyes closed. Do this in such a way that you can maybe push the edge of your boundary a little bit, but don't push yourself too hard. Honor that frightened little person inside you, of whom we all have one. Now, with the folks on Zoom, I think what I'd like to do is to have the camera. Could you zoom the camera when we're finished here? When I'm going to get up, would you zoom the camera in on my face? And then, if you if you would like to come up here and say, "I see you" to the Zoom people, that would be very fine for them. You won't be able to see them very fully, but they'll be able to see you. Okay. So, a clear instruction. I see you. Be very interesting to not have it with music, but we'll be the music. All right. What have I forgotten? We'll end with a gong. And then maybe there'd be something more to say, but I'd like to do this. Thank you for the inspiration. Breaking out of the mold. Oh, and let's maintain noble silence other than "I see you." This will generate some anxiety, and let's titter a little bit, and I haven't seen you in a while. Let's stay within the ritual. It really will make quite a difference. So I will help a few people up. Each of those people help 2 up, and there's no hurry. Let's do it really mindfully. So you want to zoom in on me, Paul? Maybe give a little, yeah. Maybe a bit more. Yeah, that's good. So if you come here, and look, the camera's there, and you can look down and here at the Zoom people and wish them well as well. Okay, or I say, "I see you." I think this is good. So I'm getting up. Yes, let's get everybody up before we start doing the ICU part. All right, I see you. remembering to stay mindful. And if you lose yourself, just stop and pause and breathe for a moment or two. And then notice your step toward the next person. Yeah. Ah, that's better. Everything I think to say seems trivial. Love isn't far away, is it? It's interesting. I'm noticing this almost, there's a great word, tachistoscopic. There's this tachistoscopic presentation of words, thoughts. And of course, it's very useful to have a functional ego to decide which ones make sense and which ones are safe and which ones are skillful. Otherwise, we're in big trouble in the world. Maybe I'll just ask this. Would anyone like to share something of your experience of greeting one another in this way? If you do, you could just raise your hand and I would be sure this microphone came to you. And it works like this. This is a important bit of instruction, actually. It doesn't work very well at all from the side. It's almost dead, right? There's a particular shape of receptivity of this. It's called a cardioid microphone. But you notice that as the angle gets closer and closer to being pointed directly here, all of a sudden you have a microphone that works. And then if you get close to it, it's even better. That's why you'll see most singers commercially use this style of microphone, and they get very close to it because that's where the receptivity is for the high notes and the low notes. It's all right here. So if you do it from here, it's almost not worth using. And for those of you that feel anxious, pardon me, about microphones, if you think of it as a gift, you're giving the gift of what you have to share, not just to me, but also to the people on Zoom, not just to each other, I mean. So does anybody want to say anything about that experience? Please. Would you be our deliverer of the microphone?
No, this is just real brief. I'm Jack, and there's a lot of people in the room, and I didn't probably touch everybody, but it was really easy to remember the people I did touch and help them. That's all I wanted to share.
Hi, I'm Abby. I was thinking that one of the things that I experienced in that, I haven't touched that many people in a single space in 3 years. It's a little scary.
Yeah.
And it's a little wonderful.
I'm Susan. My eyes did a lot of drooling.
Mhm.
There's something about being really seen that
Uh-huh.
just breaks me into pieces.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
I'm Penelope, and I'm on my 40th Kleenex here, but I had to stop after a while. It was so beautiful seeing all of you. But I realized for the first time that I saw into the soul. And oh my God, the beauty of it, I don't even know what to say, but it's remarkable. So I'm so grateful. Thank you.
I'm Allison. Is it on?
It,
Okay, like that? I can't speak. Oh, there it goes. Okay, it's my voice.
that is-
Um,
Hey, hang on, Allison.
see you. Hi.
Clear. Hang on, hang on, we'll just. Huh? Yeah. It's either a deep personality hang up that is, makes you reticent to project your voice, or the batteries are dead. I'm thinking it's the batteries. This thing really eats batteries. Hang on. Watch your head. Oh, there we go. Can you hold that? Hold that. Yep. Are you waiting? Give up. Exact. Yay! The right answer. Ruth Dennison said, once you have the Dharma, darling, you never need to wait again. You can always attend to something. All right, now this is a big test. Dun, 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 dun.
Da-da, da-da, da-da. Okay. I'm going to stand here. I'm Allison. I felt seen. I felt you seeing me, and that really felt good. And I love seeing you. But the being seen thing was really, I've done this before, and the being seen was really important, maybe just for today. You know, we all have our days, but being seen was excellent. And I too, my heart is full after this morning.
I'm Erin. I'm one of the teachers in training. The last 2 days have been totally horrible. Just deep loss of a marriage. And I've been very lonely. And so, you sweet woman, what is your name? Cole, opening up this space this morning. And just after COVID, you know, being distant from so many people, to be able to do this was just such a gift. And it's really amazing to me how you are in a mind you are in a mind state and a mood state, and you think that it's so convincing, and then you do an activity like this and you feel totally different, and that's not self. It can't be who we are. Otherwise, it wouldn't be able to change through something like this.
I was just going to say it's such a beautiful, robust, energetic experience. The synergy in this has been an amazing gift, even without the touch. But when you include our eyes, sometimes we don't need words. Thank you.
I'm Sanda. I just want to say that allowing you to see me helps me to allow me to see myself. And staying vulnerable is a hard thing to practice. But I think it cracks it open.
Yeah, it's the vulnerability that gets to me. There's this like, oh, I'm Leah, by the way. It's like this instant like little fear of like, maybe they won't see me, maybe they won't accept me. And then that instantly goes away. And you do have the moment of connection. And it gives me like the sense of the like infinite like, love and acceptance that it is not just in this moment, right? Like, so my question is like to myself, like, okay, how do I stay there? You know? So like, I think that's the goal we're all seeking here, right? So it was a good practice. Thank you.
Does anybody on Zoom want to say anything? You need to wave. I think we can get, oh, Joan, hi.
Yeah,
Um,
interesting, Robert. I was just
hold on.
writing a
Okay,
chat.
Just a
You hear me?
second. Paul's got the answer. Try again. Say something, Joan.
It was interesting, just even while you were just talking, I was writing a chat to say that even those on Zoom, myself included, I feel benefited because I looked around the room and I looked at people and I saw people.
Your sound is not coming out yet. Oh, I don't have any control either.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I've unmuted it, but it still isn't working.
I'm sorry.
Okay, I'll send a chat.
Give Paul one more second, please. We didn't test for sound from Zoom this morning. Could you give me code? Yeah, I wouldn't have turned it off. Oh, wait a minute. Well, let's test one more time.
Okay, can you hear me?
No, not going to work. Oh, well. Sorry.
I'll write a chat.
Maybe put it in the chat and Paul can read it.
I've got a quick one while she's doing that. I really enjoyed feeling each different color, that each of you had a different color, you know, some were fluffy, some were smooth. It was just really nice to dip my toe into your water.
Oh, well, the microphone is in transit. I also wanted to thank Beck for being part of the transition team of my moving out of management at PIMC and being teaching. She's had incredibly wonderful ideas and very encouraging. So thank you, Beck.
My name is Harrison. Being seen this morning was very important. And sorry, I don't have much to add to what other people have said there. But what I also noticed was the equal power of activating your own seeing. That was very important. And I've forgotten in a lot of aspects that we have that ability. Thanks.
My name is JJ, and it was really amazing to see the capacity of each person when you look through their eyes. I really enjoyed that. Also, I'm a triple bypass survivor, so I keep a track of my heart rate. There was a 50-point difference between the beginning of the exercise when my anxiety spiked and the completion of the exercise. I thought that was very fascinating.
Up or down?
I was anxious going in, and by the end of the exercise, when I physically sat down, I looked and it was a 50-point drop.
Wow.
My name is Lynn. I'm sorry. I'm disabled, as you can see. And it's hard for me to move around. I can walk fine, but I'm never sure in an environment that I'm not 100% familiar with if there's going to be anything in the way. So I tend to stay put without, for fear of tripping over people or just falling. And I thought, well, I'm going to get one or two people coming to say I feel that they see me and that I see them. And the number of you who came and said that they saw me was very heartening. Thank you.
Robert, sometimes I hate you a little bit when you make us look around in that kind of scanning way. I said that sometimes I hate you a little bit when you, during the meditation period or something, make us kind of look around and it's kind of scanning and it's kind of random. And then when somebody catches my eye, I feel the way I feel when I've been staring at you in public, but you didn't know it. And then you looked at me and it's awkward. And there was something completely different about this. I was nervous beforehand. And then as we connected individually, there was something about the mutuality of it that was very powerful. And I was so much calmer after it was over than I ever would have expected to be, and more calm than I ever am after that random scan. I'm working on it.
Robert, do we have time, and would it be appropriate for me to share the loving kindness lullaby that I sang that one day? So I.
Oh yeah, come on over here. Or-
So I don't do it so much now, but I used to teach yoga to little kids, and another children's yoga teacher taught me this, and I sang it with the teacher trainers when I was a part of that group, and my life has gone in a different direction, so I'm not part of that group now, but I want to share this. And you probably will catch on to the words, so with the second two verses, feel free to join in, and you can sing it lower than I do, that's fine. May I be safe and loved. May I be happy and healthy. May I be kind and caring. May I know all loved. May you be happy and healthy. May you be kind and caring. May you know all is well. May we be safe and loved. May we be happy and healthy. May we be kind and caring. May we know all is well. May we know all is well.
Well, dear Dharma friends, thanks for coming. Thank you to those of you on Zoom. Hello, Trina. You're back in Portland, I understand. Yay, Trina, also one of our teacher trainees, teacher already. Let's close with a simple chant, the simplest of chants. As Ram Dass used to say, let's chant the dial tone of the universe together. The word is Om. You can simply chant it in any tonality you wish. You can also start and feel it in your heart and your throat and your crown. And it's a free Om, so you don't need to do it all together. We just chant it. And those of you, it won't help if you were to unmute. And we'll end with a gong. So a minute or so of chanting the great unifying sound. Om. Musician sound. Oh. I just realized I pulled up a poem here. There's seeing and listening, hearing. This is about hearing. John Fox. When someone deeply listens to you, it's like holding out a dented cup you've had since childhood and watching it fill up with cold, fresh water. When it balances on top of the brim, you are understood. When it overflows and touches your skin, you are loved. When someone deeply listens to you, the room where you stay starts a new life. And the place where you wrote your first poem begins to glow in your mind's eye. It's as if gold has been discovered. When someone deeply listens to you, your bare feet are on the earth, and a beloved land that seemed distant is now at home within you. So friends, thank you so much for coming. Thank you to those of you on Zoom and on YouTube. Please, those of you that are here, come on through and have a cup of tea and meet some very fine people. So each weekday morning at 7 o'clock, some of you may not know this, since the beginning of COVID, I've been leading a meditation on Zoom. And now, with the exception of Thursdays, that's continuing. It's still, the other teachers are doing Thursday mornings. So if you want to come and join us in the morning, tune in. You go to the website and you can find the link there. Or go to robertbeatty.com and it's there too. All right, happy trails. See you soon. Please don't leave any plants. I'll be in trouble if there are plants.